Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today is Monday, which means it's time for an episode of Loadout, the series where you guys, the viewers, get to pick a gun and customization for me to use. The way you do this is you leave a comment down below letting me know what kind of weapon and accessories you'd like me to run with, and I will pick one of the top rated comments for the next episode. Today's top comment comes from Dogue. He says, the Michael Bay Loadout, support class, M1014 with a Cobra sight, muzzle brake, angled foregrip, and frag rounds. Try not to use any sidearm as they are not explosive sidearms. C4 and air burst, frag grenade, offensive field upgrade, just blow shit up. It's got an amazing number of upvotes at 968 when I last checked it. This is definitely an homage to the Spaz 12 from Battlefield 3. If you guys don't remember, there was one point in the game where the Spaz 12 with frag rounds was amazingly overpowered and annoying. The splash damage was insane, it would suppress everybody, it would make it really hard for them to return fire, and it would just do massive damage. It was like being on the receiving end of an APC. This is why the Spaz 12 with frag rounds is now a battle pickup in BF4. It's kind of a joke from the old one, but it's also a fun little battle pickup to get. And I'll actually pick it up in a few clips in this video. Now sadly, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the M1014 just isn't anywhere near as powerful or effective as the Spaz 12 was with frag rounds. It doesn't mean it's not an effective weapon or not a fun weapon to use. It's got less ammo and a slower rate of fire. Its effectiveness can vary drastically depending on what kind of environment you're in. If you're up above your opponent, it makes it much easier for you to get a kill on them because you're much more likely to get splash damage. If your target is above you, then the splash damage potential goes down very quickly and becomes much more difficult to get the kill. So being above your opponent is a big advantage, much like shooting a rocket in an old school arena shooter. You kind of want to jump before you take the shot to try and get a downwards angle on them so you can make sure you get that splash damage if you don't get a direct hit. One of the main benefits of the frag round is not so much that it does massive damage or massive splash damage, but that it disrupts your opponent when it lands near them, suppresses them, kind of disorients them, and makes it harder for them to return fire. And that's a good thing because it does take a bit longer to kill your opponent with these type of rounds than it will with traditional ammo. And here I am with the Spaz 12 battle pickup, and just looking at the rate of fire and the destructive power of this, plus the Battlefield 3 suppression system, you can imagine what it must have been like when playing, say, Metro 64 players. Needless to say, DICE eventually nerfed it, but it was in the game long enough so that everybody who played it for that period of time remembers it very well, and hence it making it into Battlefield 4, of course. Now, despite this being mostly a troll loadout, it's really here just to annoy people more than anything. It's actually not that ineffective. I wouldn't take it over your average assault rifle any day of the week when I'm trying to play, say, more competitively, but in terms of actually being able to get a decent KDR and adapt your playstyle to something that suits this weapon, you can actually do pretty well. The XM25 is something that I generally don't use out of principle, but in this loadout here, it was pretty effective. When somebody hides behind a corner, it made it an easy kill for me to take them out, especially if I'd already gotten a little bit of splash damage on them with the M1014. And I really don't know what it is about the support class's gadgets, but the UCAV, the Mortar, and the XM25 I think are the three most annoying gadgets in the game, and I think Battlefield would be better off if those things just weren't in the game at all. But frankly, that's a different video entirely, and I've already made the one talking about the different things I would like to have removed from Battlefield 4. As far as this loadout goes, the field upgrade situation was actually quite helpful once I got the ammo upgrade, because the M1014 requires you to shoot a lot of shots to take down your opponent. You know, 3 to 4 shots minimum to take out one person, which means you're going to be running out of ammo very quickly because you're going to be wasting a lot of shots on missed targets or trying to hit people at long range. Once you get the ammo upgrade, it's actually going to allow you to kill quite a few people. Before I got the ammo upgrade, I was constantly running around for support players trying to get some ammo, and it's kind of funny because I am the support class, yet the loadout here doesn't give me an ammo box. If I were going to switch up a few things, I'd probably get rid of the XM25 and put an ammo box in its place, because that would allow me to take a lot more risky shots. Basically, I wasn't taking shots at targets I didn't think I could hit a lot of the time, so I would save my ammo, try and get it in a little bit closer or a better shooting position. If that weren't the situation and I had an ammo box, I would just be taking tons of spam fire shots, probably being an even more annoying class than I already was being, and thus being a little bit more effective. One interesting thing about explosive shotgun rounds is that it basically allows you to engage targets at pretty much any range you should choose. There's going to be a drop off, the shot's going to go slowly through the air, but if you've got a stationary long range target, that splash damage is going to be exactly the same if the target was close to you as if he's going to be further away from you. So you definitely have killing potential at further ranges, and it gives you a good versatility with the weapon, I suppose. I wouldn't say versatility, but at least variety of targets to go for. Of course, you have to watch out for the fact that the splash damage can damage yourself. If friendlies run in front of you while you're taking a shot, you can splash damage off the back of them, killing yourself. If you're trying to shoot through glass that's right next to you, the first shot will actually explode on the glass, hurting you as well. So you have to watch out for this, and there was a couple times that I actually killed myself, usually on enemies that were just really close up to me. I would take some shots at them, the splash damage would kill them and me at the same time. Now sometimes I get a little bit more usage out of C4. I was hoping to get some on rush game modes, but I just didn't end up playing any rush games that had a lot of good bottleneck opportunities to get a huge amount of kills with the C4. They get a few here and there, but nothing too extravagant. Now if you really are trying to make this Loadout work, one of the biggest benefits you can have is getting the first shot on your opponent. That is usually a good rule of thumb with any weapon out there, but it's particularly important with the M1014 because the first shot will disorient your opponent. It'll also suppress them. It'll make them really hard for them to return accurate fire on you. So as long as you get that first shot off, it doesn't matter if it takes you a second to take down your target, which is a long time in Battlefield 4, it will usually be enough time because your opponent just can't return that accurate fire. If they're already shooting by the time you're shooting at them, chances are you're going to lose that firefight. And as you can see from a lot of these clips here, I'm taking advantage of the higher ground that I was talking about earlier. You get that better splash damage, and if you're above your target, chances are you're going to see them before they see you. Players often like to hug walls for better cover. This is not beneficial when trying to take cover from a frag round because the splash damage will detonate off the wall and end up hurting them even more. One of my favorite ways to actually kill somebody with this weapon is when they take cover behind something like a pillar or a box where I'm able to just shoot the ground next to the box, causing splash damage and killing them from behind their cover. Now when it comes to the actual frag round, using it in something like say a pump action is not going to be that beneficial. You'll get slightly more direct damage, but the splash damage will be the same. So I highly recommend if you are planning on running a frag round shotgun, use it in a semi-auto shotgun. In fact, the M1014 is probably the best one to pick from because it's got one of the higher rates of fire at 210 rounds per minute, which is going to be the most beneficial. The damage isn't going to change regardless of the rate of fire of the shotgun. The QBS 09 could be decent, but the reload's a little bit longer on that one, even though it has a slightly higher rate of fire. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode of Loadout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave your comments down below letting me know what kind of weapon and accessories you'd like me to run with for the next episode, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap signing off.